I'm going to say new. Okay, so I'm going to choose blank presentation, and I am using a Mac, but I am using the Microsoft Office package for Mac, and the newest update is actually pretty similar to Windows. I think that you'll find that what I show you is pretty similar to what you have. The first thing that you notice is when you open up PowerPoint, it's got always the title slide, and we don't actually want that, or you probably won't want that for this. So I just right click on it, and then I'm going to choose, well, I want format background though. Actually, I'm going to do new slide, that might be easiest. Okay, and then I'm just going to get rid of these things by clicking on them and just deleting. And then I'm actually going to delete this entire slide. So delete slide. Okay, so now I started with a blank slide, and if you notice in the graphic, I hope you have it maybe downloaded on your computer, what do you notice about the yellow background? The yellow background. It fades. Yep, we call that a gradient. Good. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So the first question is, how do you get a gradient? So I'm going to go to Design, and I'm going to go to Format Background. And here I have a choice. I'm going to choose Gradient Fill. And I can change, since this was the last graphic I created in PowerPoint, it defaulted to that. But if you look, there's preset gradients, and it shows what direction things are going in. I obviously chose the yellow pattern because that's what I was going for here. You can do different. This one is linear in that it goes from top to bottom. I can show you what radial looks like. It just kind of changes the direction of the light, essentially. I'm going to go with linear still. 45-degree angle is fine. And we actually have light on the bottom and darker on the top. So I think, okay. And then you can change the colors that you're using either here, or I think you can actually change them here as well. Okay, so that is the background. Okay, now we talked about how I tried to draw waves and they were ugly, so I decided actually to go representational with the waves and just show them with blue, the color blue instead. So I actually just went over to, if I go to Home, here's where the shapes are, and I just decided to go to Rectangle, and I just made a rectangle. Okay, and you can change the colors as well. Right over here, this kind of comes up when you format shapes, and so, you know, I could make it lighter if I wanted. Also, if I click on this shape, I can decide if I want a shadow. That might be kind of fun to do some kind of a shadow with this. Maybe I'll put the shadow on the bottom of it instead of the top. And okay. Oh, here is line. Sometimes I don't want to have a line. Okay, so I just want to have it like this, perhaps. Okay, if you go back to that example, then you can see that I have kind of the shores on either side. And if you look at this graphic, one thing that I noticed is that a lot of things are used twice. So for example, we have like the shore with data and we have the shore with results. So what I did was I only created one thing, made it, and then copied and pasted it and put it on the other side. So to do that, I actually drew a little bit. So I went again to shapes, and I decided to use a line. And I think for that I used this one, and I just kind of began to draw the shore. Oh, yep, and this is kind of tricky. I don't know if you ever have played with this, but you actually want to complete the shape and then fill it in. Okay, right now it defaults to filling it in blue. I obviously don't want that, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick brown, and I'm going to go to more colors. And this brings up crayons, but there's different choices. Okay, so I'm going to pick this. I'm going to say okay. That's kind of green, actually. So I'm going to go to more colors. Oh, here, I'm going to go to brown. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a little bit of grass. So again, I'm going to go over to the shapes. And I'm going to go over to this weird line thing. And I'm going to draw my grass and make sure that I close it. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make that green. And I don't want a line. Okay? And then I'm going to move my grass kind of on top of my shore. Okay. All right, now I'm going to do something called grouping. So I've got the grass selected. I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to select the shore as well. And then if I right click, come on, right click, I'm going to go to group and I'm going to group them together. This locks these things together, so now I can move it as one piece instead of two. Now I'm going to do Command C, or you can do Control C if you're in a Windows, and that's going to copy it. And now I'm going to do paste, and now we can see that I have two shores. But obviously, if I want it on the other side of the shore, I'm just going to move it over here. And now I have my two shores. Okay, next I'm going to do the data and results signs. So I'm going to go into shapes and I'm going to do a cylinder. So right here. And I'm going to draw my cylinder. And again, it defaults to blue. So I'm going to do a gradient fill. And I am going to choose white. Or silver, I guess. My one color. What I'm a little uncertain about is how I would do the other color. Well, oh, I probably want to do this. Okay, there's my silver pole. And then again, I'm going to copy it and paste it and put the other one over here. Okay. Next, I'm going to make my little sign. That's pretty easy. I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to make a text box. And I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to format my text box. So I want to have solid fill, but I'm going to have it white. And I am going to have a solid line this time. And I want it to be a little bit more. Okay. And so that's where I'm going to write in data. And I'm going to copy it and paste it. And that's where I'm going to put in for results. And you can adjust these. There we go. And then, okay. And so then I would go into home and if I click on this, come back, come back. Okay. This is where I can start typing data. And if I highlight my words, I can actually click on this A to make it bigger or smaller. And then over here, I'm going to type in results. And I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to highlight it first. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to make the bridge. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to go back to my shapes. And I'm going to make a rectangle for the bottom. I'm going to stretch it across. And I'm going to do solid fill again, but this time I'm going to do pink, so I'm going to go to more colors, and I'm going to kind of choose here, and I'll choose this color. And then I'm also going to do a line this time, a solid line, and I'm going to choose more colors, and I'm going to sort of choose this color here, and I'm going to make that thicker. So the width, I'm going to increase it. Okay, now I'm going to make another rectangle. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make it lighter. So solid fill, I'm going to make it, going to go into more colors. And I'm going to do a solid line. And I'm going to also make that a little thicker. Oh, but I want it to be this dark maroon again. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more thin rectangle. So I'm going to go up to here again. And I'm going to have my rectangle. And do one more. Probably about that thin. Okay, and we can see that my result sign is kind of getting tugged on. So I'm actually going to bring him down a little bit and then maybe make this pull shorter. Okay. All right, so within that, they actually put some text box so that people could write in the answers as the presenter was talking. So I would just put a text box here, and then to format it, I would say that I want it solid. That's where we would type in school culture, trust, and equality. And then I'm going to do another text box, and actually I'm going to put 4 of them in here. So this would be for leadership and capacity. And I'm just actually going to copy and paste once, twice, 3 times. The next one would be for structured collaboration. Then I would have frequent data use and instructional improvement. It looks like I can actually kind of make them a little bit bigger. Let me just stretch them out. And I would play with this too. I could perhaps make the bridge a little bit wider, etc., to make them fit. Okay, so that is the bridge. Then I'm going to draw like the poles. So what I did there for the bridge is I went into shapes. Go back to home a second, I guess. And here, there's actually some spheres. So this is 3D. And I'm going to do a gradient fill, because they had done that before. And I think I want to go into this preset gradient, and I'm going to have it more kind of this color, but I'm going to mix it with more of a red. Okay. And I'm going to draw my pole. Oh, sorry about that.